BSA badge on the front there. Wheels don't look too bad, pretty good condition. I see there's a little bit of oil leaking here and there. Carburettor, as you can see, that's a 930 concentric, which is incorrect for this bike. Standard gearbox. That's a bit loose, needs a new cock pin, maybe even a new shaft, but we'll get to that. I'm not sure that is the right exhaust either. Not too sure about that. I don't think that should be slash cut. Looks like a slash cut both ends. Yeah, a little bit of paint off here and there. Doesn't really matter. Oh, that's my knees. Yeah, but that's not too bad. Just needs a good clean up, I think. A little bit of rust there, isn't it? All dirt, can't really see. What else? Oh yeah, the jiffy stand, that needs looking at. When you put weight on it, the bracket actually twists around, so it needs sorting out. Yeah, all in all, not too bad. Seat is off. Exhaust and carburettor removed. It's in there. Footrests on one side. These are off. The other side is still on. You can see this has had a bit of a funny repair done at some point. Looks like an old road sign or something that's been used. Yeah, and chain is worn through there at a point. That's what that damage is there. We have the gauze, sump plate and the two gaskets, plus nuts and washers. It's a speedo. Thank you. What size is that? Yeah. Tweak this cover too tight. Right. At last, that's the other half. There, there's just a bit of wear in there, but looks of it. Here's how it's looking. So there's a cage. And then you have to get 2 sets of rollers in. Well, got it on in the end, just had to get the camera out of the way to do it. Yeah, so that's done. Right, so just got those new screws in there. I did just put a little bit of thread lock on them, just to make sure my own peace of mind. Right, next thing will be crankcase bearings, I reckon. It just retains that bearing. Right, so that looks nice and square, and let's just give it a go. It's got it. So to make sure I've got these square to each other, just run a little bit of threaded rod through the middle so they're both connected up. Turn this sleeve, bushing, whatever you like to call it, turn that up on the lathe, and I need to drill a hole here, insert that and weld that in. So now start to get this back together. I've just gone over the frame and some of the parts. There's some of that. Right, can you see where I'm going with this? Clubman style bars. This is the part of the Clubman style headlight bracket, and this here is a piece of this tube. Got quite a bit of play in this. How well this will come over. Quite a bit of play in this Kickstarter bush. Also that. There's quite a bit of play in there. So we'll have a look at those and see if I can do anything with that. Right, just turn this bush up on the lathe. So it's a nice fit on there. That is the old bush. You can see there's quite a bit of slop in that, and it just drops through there. This is the one, just turn this up on the lathe. A piece of steel I had, and that's really good slide and fit. And all I've got to do now is try and get this into here. Okay, so when this goes back on, that part is in neutral, and this also has to be set in neutral. There's a couple of dots there, just have to be aligned when this actually goes on. Got the ratchet refitted and the spring, got the Kickstarter lever temporary on, and just using the clutch arm just to hold the tension on that spring. So in theory this should all just drop on now, hopefully. Front wheel is now in, forks are all in, tightened up. Just need to put oil in them, and engine and gearbox is in, well, the bottom half of the engine anyway. So got the chain guard back on, and as you can see that's straightened up. As I've put the bolts in, it's just pulled everything straight. I mean, it's still a little bit beaten up, but it will do for now. Right, somewhere around there. There we go. A little bit of aluminium here just to push that home. I've already got the circlip in the other side. Right. Now the tricky bit, getting this out. So this double hex bit here is one piece. That's the lock nut, and there's also some flats on the bottom here. So now this will fit on there, nice and flat, like that, as it should. This part here is still raised, doesn't matter because there was a cutout for that there, so I can now get on and fit that part. Ooh, and I've also mounted the front mudguard, see there, which is just an aluminium one. Just polished it up a little bit. Got the chrome stays on there. This is the brake fulcrum pin fixing, whatever you like to call it. It's now mounted in the hole that I made in the frame and sleeved. It's there like that. Oil tank back on and connected. So what I've got is some hex bar, like that, and some flat bar as well, which I'm going to use to make the little link piece which goes between that part and the actual footrest. So yeah, that's that bit completed. That's the bit that will go in there. It's a little bit tight, but it does go in. And obviously that end will go on there. Alright, brackets complete and fitted, and these shortened down, fold up okay. And once the rod is in there and the wheel is in, that'll sit roughly about there. Might have to bring it up a little bit. QD or crinkle hub wheel for the B31. Got this brake plate which I've just got some filler primer on there. I'm just going to top coat that in a minute. The actual hub or brake, the brake shoes go, and the sprocket. Short axle for that, and the three retaining plates, tab washers. Just turn this to the whatever length I need and press this on here, bit of weld around the inside, and that'll create my top hat bush for there. That's that little spacer done, fit in there. Just needs a coat of paint. Was a little bit tricky to get in there because this has got the speedo attachment on here, so I think what I might do is cut this down a little bit. So that's the little brass insert I had to make. Obviously this spindle is quite a bit smaller than that hole. This torsion bar, I have a bit of stainless steel, and just had to put a little bit of a bend in it there to get it to line up correctly. So I think that is beefy enough to do the job. And also had to make this little clamp here out of a little bit of alloy bar, round bar. Just milled a little bit, a couple of flats in there, drilled a hole for the brake switch, so I can get on, fit the exhaust and everything. I need to sort this out. If you notice, I've got a cam cover which has got cut out for the for the tacho drive, and I've also got a, though it's not the correct one, this here which fits directly onto the magneto. It's an extended nut, I suppose, really, which has got a slot in for a drive, tacho drive, and here we are. I've got a hold of a tacho drive. Got that on there now. What they actually did in the end was just widen the slot by half a mil each side, so there's a little bit more play in there, and it's just enough to allow this to go on properly. So now I've just got to slide this on. Like that. Line the splines up, that is. Yeah. Have to make a spacer up, I think. Put that extra little spacer on there. That must have been rattling around all over the place, that primary drive chain. Right, so now straight edge against there, no gap, which is how it should be. Dab of oil and grease on there. This clutch adjusted up to get myself a proper clutch tool. Right, a couple of little updates. First of all, got the exhaust fitted. It's looking quite good, and there's usual with all pattern parts. Had to make a little bit of a spacer here, because the in here exhaust was hitting the frame. Yeah, so it wasn't quite out far enough. These two bolts here would hold the speeder one, but these replicas, you can't do it like that, because on the original ones the actual drive, or where the cable goes in, is to the side, but on the replica ones smack in the middle, so you can't actually use these. And that is had it. This here is all not right, it's all bent out of shape, and there's something missing off there. So I've just got to this one of these to replace it with. Most of the connections made. I just run every cable into here. That's going to be my earthen point. Just got the battery in there, temporary. Just got a clip holding the positive on, just in case something short out and we have to disconnect rather quickly. Brake light. Pretty loud. Side light. Tail light. And just check the stop light doesn't do anything silly. Yep, that's okay. Headlight. Dip and main. Whichever way around it is, there's not a lot of difference on this. Not the brightest of things. But, and the you can just see they are illuminated in there, just about. Yeah, so got a nice chrome and silver tank there. Two new petcocks. I think that's a fuel cap in there. Should be a little pipe somewhere as well, somewhere amongst this lot. Yeah, there's a fuel cap. Badges. I've got a couple of new rubbers to go on, and that's a strap that goes under the tank. Right, that's both those taps on there. So I think what I'm going to do is make a round plate to go on the back of that, so I can just drill the holes for these to go through, and use these brackets, cut the long part off, and use these two holes to make my plate. That will be on there. I've just got a little M6 button head, go under there. So that will be all like that. Probably more like the height that should be, maybe a little bit high, but yeah, certainly looks a lot better than these which I made originally. going to be looking at converting this to electronic pickup, but I don't want to make it so it's not reversible, so whatever I do I want to, you know, be able to put it back. So already removed the points from there, been on the lathe, turned this part up from a bit of this bar, just cut a section off. I didn't video that because I've done several videos on how to make something of this shape, or a round part from a piece of square. Yeah, so that is basically, or the back part of that is basically this, the cam ring. So this is the rotor, which will fit in there, and it'll be retained by the original screw. Basics there anyway. So there's that original plate under there made, and this other plate here just holds the pickup on. Right, let's give it some rotation. Let's spin there. What we got? 160 revs, and we've got a lovely little spark there.